With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel. From 31st January to 6 February 2022, Zambia's spiritual atmosphere will take a paradigm shift. The Bible says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord."
Zambia, a nation under God conference
will be starting at 20:45 hours
to 22:30 hours.
Live on Camnet TV channel 274 on DSTV, GoTV channel 98 and Topstar channel 106.
Speakers will be
Bishop Stanley Simnyola, Grace Ministries;
Dr. Nervous Mumba, Victory Ministries;
Apostle Michael Mutemwa from South Africa;
Bishop Nelly Chikwanda, New Life Christian Center;
Apostle Rick Kamwanga, Risen Life Church International;
Bishop Joy Makando, Bread of Life;
Bishop Alex Mwami of Holy Ghost Firehouse from South Africa; and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua.
Camnet Television,
not just another channel.
And now the main news in detail. The Christian Churches Minoring Group has described the political atmosphere for KABWATA constituency parliamentary by-election as generally conducive. CCMG Chairperson Father Emmanuel Chikoya has, however, underscored the need to ensure that polling stations are accessible for persons with cross-cutting disabilities in future elections. He says there is a need to ensure that everyone is accorded a conducive environment to exercise the right to vote.
We are all operating under the principle of the National Development Plan that talks about leaving no one behind, and so we need to make our facilities, our churches and all other facilities, polling stations, accessible and user-friendly to the differently abled. It's not just access also. It's about even the conveniences. What happens when they feel pressed, and if they go to that convenience, is it user-friendly? So basically, we need to do better in that regard. We can and we must do better. Invest more, and hopefully with the rebranding and the launch of a new logo, we are hoping to see some of these things being a must in the management and conduct of our elections in Zambia.
The Zambia police have apprehended 6 Patriotic Front cadres who are alleged to have been involved in an electoral malpractices. Police spokesperson Rehamunga has revealed that the 6 and the driver were using a Toyota Land Cruiser beige in color, which sped off upon being stopped by police. He adds that the driver ended up bashing a police motor vehicle and almost running over a police officer, and that the driver did not stop despite several warning shots. The police spokesperson has revealed that police are investigating the matter. He has further dispelled allegations on social media that police have impounded Patriotic Front motor vehicles. Mr. Amunga has also dispelled allegations that the police have put the Patriotic Front acting president, Mr. Given Luvinda, under house arrest. The counting of votes is underway in the KABWATA parliamentary by-election. The poll has been characterized by voter apathy. All 9 candidates participating in the by-election are confident of scooping the seat.
Voter apathy has prevailed in this election, as can be seen from the low turnout of the people. If we take you back during the August 12 general election, the situation was a bit like this. At the moment, the counting of votes is underway in the KABWATA constituency parliamentary by-election. The aspect of voter apathy has prevailed in Thursday's poll when compared to the August 12 general election. Ministry of Information and Media Director and spokesperson Tawo Kawana spoke to us on the issue of low voter turnout.
Become a trend in Zambia. I think we are coming from an administration that exposed us to one by-election after another, and all those were categorized and characterized the same way. They all had low voter turnout. So I think it is a question of interesting the Zambian citizens to be able to participate in elections, especially by-elections, because it looks like it's a trend that every time there's a by-election, the voter turnout is sometimes even below 50%.
Generally, the environment was conducive for conducting the by-election, and a number of KABWATA residents shared their perspective.
That all is well, no conflicts, and the people who are doing the exercises are welcoming.
It all goes back to who we elect at the end of the day. So if we want to see that development coming back to our areas, this is the right time to make the right choice.
9 political parties are contesting the seat, and all of them are confident of scooping it.
Tried to block us, but God in his own way ensured that we prevail, and we have prevailed. So victory is for people in KABWATA. And I thank the leadership of the Democratic Party who have accompanied me here. This is the leadership that we have. And they're fighting with me, and tonight we'll be celebrating.
We know that the people of KABWATA are wise enough to be lied to, because you cannot have a part where the president keeps on campaigning for an MP or an aspiring MP the whole time, and the MP has never even talked. So how is he going to represent the people of KABWATA in Parliament?
Yes, I'm 100% confident of scooping the city. But all the same, if I don't scoop the city, I have been a leader. I have been running a tuition center in Chilenje for 30 years, which means I discharge the leadership at that level. If it can happen that I'm going to be the loser, I'm going to support the one who is going to carry the day.
I've seen there hasn't been so much sensitization, especially from the ECZ point of view. Because when there is a change like that, ECZ must do everything to sensitize the people. But in terms of telling the people that on this day, we are voting on this day, the date has been changed, that was not, it was not considered.
Would you accept? The results will not come out in opposite direction. In an event, sir? I'm saying I'm a very positive person. I don't change my statement. I am confident I'm winning this election.
But in the end, there can only be one winner. Patrick Soko, Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
You're watching Camnet TV Main News. Now we get a live update from KABWATA constituency, where one of our journalists, Sharon Kalimbola, will just give us a live election update. Hello, Sharon. Good evening. Thank you. Can you please kindly update us on what's currently going on that side?
Non-political parties that are allowed to be parliamentary seats here in KABWATA to represent the people in the nation after the 108 Party national government. The people want for change, the patriotic front, the Socialist Party, 692, they can be protected from the patriotic front, and also we have a finger in the eyes of KABWATA because it's generations of fear. However, most of these candidates claim to be residents of KABWATA constituency, but the results will only be known as an Authorized person to operate that sharing some of the results from direct policies that we are not yet completed because we are here at the Constitution Center at ICC. So results that can be anytime soon, we will be giving you those after. However, the situation is very critical, and the same way it was during the campaign period, we were hoping that after the results are announced, the situation will still remain peaceful. We have 37 out here around this shopping center. It's peaceful, coordinating the roads with everyone else. So basically that's the status quo as it stands. Results have not yet started trickling in here at the shopping center.
Okay, looking at the situation, do you think that the counting of votes will be done before midnight?
Exactly. I'm sure even some of the polling centers have already concluded their counting. It's just that probably a 1 or 2 procedure that needs to be followed for them to consolidate these results and verify that they are indeed correct out before they're given out there to the public. You are aware that prior to the 2021 general elections, the Electoral Commission of Zambia have actually indicated that no results will be issued to the public without verification. So most of these polling stations are concluded because of the low voter turnout. Because some streams, searchers and the viewers out there have mentioned that they only have maybe 24, 25 or 100 people voting on some streams. So that really shows that the counting of these ballots will not affect the whole night. That the procedural issues will actually delay the whole process. That the counting of these ballot papers is something that can be done actually even before midnight. This turnout was pretty low. We spoke to the Christian Church Monitoring Group, which was called Emmanuel.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that update, Sharon.
All right, special. We will be giving you those visuals. When the updates start coming, we will get back to the viewers and give them those updates. This is KABWATA.
Thank you. Okay, there you have it. We were just having a conversation with one of our journalists, Sharon Kalumbula, who is currently at one of the polling stations. They're just counting the votes. We'll soon get an update on who has scooped the seat of Member of Parliament for KABWATA constituency. We get back to the rest of the news. Political analyst Dante Saunders says Zambia is once again enjoying its democracy under the United Party for National Development administration after a long time due to the respect of the rule of law and other tenets of democracy such as freedom of expression. Mr. Saunders tells Camnet News that civil society organizations and other stakeholders can now offer effective checks and balances on the new administration without fear of arrest, which indicates an expansion of the civic space. Mr. Saunders notes that individuals alleging that there is a shrinking democratic space due to various arrests on charges of defaming the head of state are misplaced.
Very far from that there. I think UPND won the election on the basis that they were going to strengthen the democracy in this country. That's what we wanted. Because you can never build a party. You can't build a party and you can't build a government without democracy. There's no strong democracy in any country where, you know, the economy is bad and things are all leading to that day. If you take away democracy, you destroy everything. But because of democracy being there, the right to speak, the right to talk, you know, because it's there, we are in a better position to advise government sometimes on issues which has got to do a lot with the building of the economy of this country. But freedom of expression does not mean that you can stand on a platform and demean or tell lies about other people. That's not freedom of expression. That is now you are trying to deliberately bring down somebody's reputation. Freedom of expression is the thing that has kept people like me going. Because, we want to be in a situation where if you have a problem, you must be able to express it. Because then and then only can the government or whoever you are talking about be in a position to revisit the decisions.
In other news, the government has assured its support to the Office of the Public Protector to ensure its full investigative operations in providing its service to the people. During a press briefing Thursday at the Office of the Public Protector, Minister of Justice Mulambo Haimbe says the new administration is cognizant of the challenges the institution has faced in the recent past, among them the low budgetary allocation, hence questioning its effectiveness by the general public. Meanwhile, Public Protector Caroline Sokoni has appealed for constitutional reforms to assure the institution's autonomy.
The COP mandate of promoting practices of good governance within the public institutions in the delivery of public services to the general public, the Office of the Public Protector was provided for in the Constitution as amended in 2016, a replacement of the Commission for Investigations Act that was enacted in 1991. However, regardless of a successful transition from its initial state of an executive defender, the office has faced a number of operational challenges, hence lessening public confidence in the institution. To address some of the public concerns, especially in the mainstream media, the Office of the Public Protector Thursday has clarified by explaining the challenges currently being faced in its operations, has cited low budgetary allocation, lack of operational tools, among others.
Patterns that have been reflected in the institution, and having also pointed out the institutional reforms that have been carried out in this institution. However, the institutional framework needs to be fully legitimized. The provisions of the Constitution state that the Office of the Public Protector shall report to the National Assembly regarding all its affairs. However, currently, we report to the executive, even if we're a parliamentary ombudsman. So all our affairs, apart from submission of reports, we still report to the executive. So the executive has not weaned us off. They need to wean us so that we operate independently of them.
Ms. Sokoni demonstrated to media and stakeholders some of the gaps in legislation that need constitutional reforms under the current administration.
The Office of the Public Protector. Currently, this is okay. Here, enforcement, not yet. On the executive, the funding, yes, but they need to wean us. So that they give us our autonomy. That autonomy has not been given to us. So this has not yet been done. And
in response to these appeals, Minister of Justice Malambo Haimbe has taken cognizance of the gaps in the system. He notes that since the establishment of the institution to replace the Office of the Investigator General, the office has not been detached from the executive to the legislature as a parliamentary ombudsman demands.
We will ensure that decentralization of the Office of Public Protector is given priority by allocating more resources to the office, which will see to it that it is decentralized to the provinces and progressively to the districts in due course as provided for in the Constitution. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, the government recognizes the challenges of lack of transport and other working tools for the Office of the Public Protector, and so far I'm glad that the Treasury in the January funding disbursed funds to the Office of the Public Protector to procure working tools which will enhance institutional operations and management.
He has since assured government action to see to it that the institution is adequately funded and given the autonomy it requires to fully operate.
Within the establishment that needs to be filled, and we will be looking to support a drive to get Treasury Authority to have these positions filled, so that ultimately the institution works at full capacity. And indeed this will increase the capacity of the office in conducting timely investigations. In the long run, government will work on reviewing the structure of the Office of the Public Protector to accommodate a more skillful workforce for effective conducting of investigation aimed at combating maladministration in the public sector and improve the service delivery system.
The Public Protector have been in existence for a long time, but it's still relatively unknown among general populace whose interest it was set out to protect. And according to Ms. Sokoni, this can only be achieved if the institution is to be given the autonomy over the executive. Alex Chimba, Camnet News, in Lusaka.
In other news, Over 16 houses in Lusaka's Makeni Villa of Kanyama constituency have had their electricity cables cut by unknown people. In interviews with Camnet News, the residents have called for heightened security, stating that the same has been happening on a daily basis for the past 1 month, which has left the affected areas with a blackout. Meanwhile, ZESCO Public Relations Manager Ms. Hezo Zulu says security at the power utility company will work with the Zambia police to enhance patrols.
Despite some deaths being recorded from suspected electricity cable thieves, the vice has continued in various parts of the country. This is Lusaka's Makeni Villa near Banda Masaoko Clinic in Kanyama constituency, where over 16 households report that their power service cables have been cut by unknown people over the past 1 month, with the latest incident being Wednesday, 2nd February 2022. Barely 2 months ago, residents of Lusaka's Mutendere compound reported the same incidents twice, calling for increased patrols. For these residents of Makeni Villa, some allege that they have been in the dark for about 1 month now due to the country's power utility company stating that it has run out of service cables, urging them to buy from the market, which they say they cannot afford.
They have to make sure that they look into this matter. They see what is happening on the ground. Because we will lose our children, even ourselves. It's a rain season, so when the cable is cut and they don't want to come and even remove it, it is still having power, meaning we are going to lose lives. And also, we are frustrated where you'll be almost 1 month, no cable. They're saying the company has got no cables. When are they going to do their procurement? When are the cables going to come?
22 December. Naenda na shita report polisi wanuza ti endani muende paka banki mulipile 54 kwacha. Naenda na lipia wanuza ti endani kumalambo. Naenda kumalambo na peleka report wanuza ti kankaleni tizapwe. Wananitumira phone wasesiko wapwera bosi isa jandamwera sala kupo bachosi. After bachosi might kambotumira kuchaza but makebos yakalipopwera.
So in this community, I think this is a growing problem. It has become a habit. I mean, we have more than 16 houses that have been, which have stolen cables. Then we find we have given reports to the ZESCO. The ZESCO are not coming, they do not respond. So we still have other cables which are lying low. If it starts raining, it can electrify anybody.
They have emphasized the need for increased police patrols in the area, stating that the matter is getting out of hand.
Mapatrols yamechima waona chape bapita na road bapita chape mu road but muno kuno kwatu tilipe chape road imos tinayo ma road ya ma communities, so tuna police batitandizeko because changa district, because from the time amene wanabera kebo ya paneba paja yakwana yenda manje na mu 2 months yenda na mu 2 months police report banatenga kuzesko banando sta report but kuribe action iliyonse amena sta kwa kama yabati waembekezere, so still wangatizatandisika bwanji.
Meanwhile, ZESCO Public Relations Manager Ms. Hezo Zulu has called on citizens to always ensure that they make formal complaints.
And I would also like to warn perpetrators of this right that ZESCO, as you know, we have the ZESCO Security Department, so we have officers on the ground. And besides that, we work closely with the Zambia police to, sort of conduct some surveillance inspection in most areas so that we are able to get rid of this virus. But again, what I want to say is that these vandals are usually coming from communities where we live, and in some instances we know them. So we are calling on the community to partner with us and report any people that are loitering around this destination.
The residents, however, feel there should be stringent measures to end the vice, as the hanging cables are posing as a threat to lives. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
An investigations officer from the Drug Enforcement Commission and the Anti-Money Laundering Investigation Unit has told the Lusaka High Court that the argument submitted before the court by former Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mula that the DC quizzed him and 2 other PF members over the party's source of funds prior to the August 2021 general election is an attempt to curtail the ongoing criminal investigations. In this matter, Mr. Mwila has cited the Attorney General as a respondent. Mr. Mwila wants the courts to declare that PF cannot be coached to disclose its source of income and the same was not laundered.
As the lawsuit continues before the Lusaka High Court in a case in which former opposition Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mwila sought government to stop security agencies from intimidating and illegally questioning PF party members, Drug Enforcement Commission DEC Investigations Officer in the Anti-Money Laundering Investigation Unit, Hanton Chilala, states before court that the claims submitted by Mr. Mwila clearly demonstrate that he is attempting to challenge the Commission's statutory authority to conduct criminal investigations relating to allegation of money laundering against members of public. In the said lawsuit filed before court on behalf of the party, Mr. Mwila cited the Attorney General and claims in his submission before court that PF members are being threatened by Drug Enforcement Commission with prosecution if they do not disclose their source of campaign funds for the 2021 12 August general elections. But according to a notice of motion to dismiss the action on a point of law signed by Mr. Chilala, he says Mr. Mwila is in total disregard of the law by deliberately and wrongfully disclosing information that relates to such investigations under the gesture of civil proceedings. He further submits that the issues Mr. Mwila has called the court to determine are merely an attempt to curtail the ongoing criminal investigations which involve some PF party members through DEC. Mr. Chilala since pleaded with the court in the interest of justice and public policy to allow investigative authorities to carry out their statutory duties without being curtailed by frivolous civil proceedings, such as the one commenced by Mr. Mwila. On the other side, in the earlier submissions filed before court, Mr. Mwila insisted that the funds used in the elections were not money laundering, and he will prove so at trial. Thus, the PF is claiming that government pays it damages for intimidation and harassment of its members. Hearing of this matter continues before the Lusaka High Court. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Senior citizens in Eastern Province are disappointed at the remarks made by the Housing and Infrastructure Minister Charles Milupi over the construction of roads in the province by suggesting that the roads are not economically viable. Addressing the media Thursday, Major Francis Kamanga explains that the roads mentioned are economically viable roads which need to be constructed for the province to benefit. Major Kamanga says the senior citizens in Eastern Province appreciate the new dawn's aspiration of delivering development to all parts of the country.
We are aware His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema has on several occasions indicated that agriculture is going to be the backbone of the economy of this country. Suffice to mention that 70% of maize, which is a staple food for Zambia, produced in the country, Eastern Province produces the second highest, the first being Southern Province. Therefore, we believe, strongly believe, that the road infrastructure in the province is a priority. It is difficult to fathom why the Honorable Minister would adopt such an antagonistic stance. We take note of the numerous concerns and responses expressed by the people in the Eastern Province who feel exploited and unappreciated. We thank Easterners. We appreciate that the UPND Alliance government, through the minister, has conducted an inspection tour of provinces to assess the situation on the ground. We note that Mr. Milupi was an official government business as Minister of Infrastructure and Housing. And his report thus represents government position. As a result, we note that his stated position is official position of the government.
You're watching Camnet TV Main News. We take our first set of commercials. We'll be back with more news after this.
We welcome you to the wonderful world of Savenda Electronics.
At Savenda Electronics, we pride ourselves in manufacturing high-quality electricity and water meters.
Boasting of the first of its kind state-of-the-art manufacturing plant in Zambia, Savenda Electronics manufactures customized smart electricity and water meters of international standards for both the local and international water and electricity utility companies. Our highly computerized factory, run by qualified staff, makes, calibrates, and electronically tests the smart meters to ensure only those meeting customer specifications are delivered to the market. Some of the main features which come with our meters includes notifications about low units, tempering, low battery, and many more customized features. Savenda Electronics provides on and off-site after-sales service and has favorable contract terms for water and electricity utility companies. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom.
Yes, baby.
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings. Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you for staying with us. We continue with the rest of Camnet TV and main news. A Lusaka resident has pleaded with the Lusaka High Court not to dismiss a matter in which he has sued New Hope Movement for Multi-Party Democracy MMD leader Nevis Mumba over his failure to conclude the land transaction. In this case, Oliver Scott has dragged Dr. Mumba to court for failing to complete the transfer of land which was allegedly sold to him at $70,000 United States dollars. Mr. Scott, through his lawyer, says his delay in serving Mr. Mumba with orders for direction for trial was not deliberate or meant to undermine the authority of the court, but he is desirous to prosecute the matter.
A Lusaka resident, Oliver Scott, who has commenced a legal battle against New Hope Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, MMD leader Dr. Nevas Mumba, for failing to complete with the transfer of land, which was allegedly sold to him at $70,000 United States, has pleaded with the Lusaka High Court not to dismiss the case, as he is desirous of prosecuting it. Mr. Scott is seeking an order for specific performance of a contract of sale dated 6 September 2018, being the transfer, assignment, and that Dr. Mumba vacates the possession of the said property in Lusaka's Ibex Hill area. According to an affidavit in opposition of summons for an order to dismiss the matter for want of prosecution, Mr. Scott's advocate states that their delay in serving Dr. Mumba with orders for direction for trial was not deliberate or meant to undermine the court, but the law firm had been exposed to a client who had visited their chambers and tested positive to COVID-19, which resulted in the closure of their chambers, self-isolation, and testing for the entire staff for a period exceeding 2 weeks. And further, claiming that effort to save Dr. Mumba's advocates was done, but they never responded. In his statement of claim earlier filed before court, the plaintiff stated that Dr. Mumba was a registered owner of the property, and in 2018 he entered into an agreement with him for the sale of the said property at the said purchase price of $70,000 United States. He had stated that a contract of sale and assignment was accordingly executed between the parties upon full payment of the said amount, which was paid to Dr. Mumba. But it has been over 2 years since he bought the said property, and Dr. Mumba has failed to complete the transfer of the property to him despite numerous reminders. And in his defense, Dr. Mumba says he has not sold any piece of land to him, claiming that the plaintiff attempted to defraud him of his property when he refused to pay unagreed interest on a loan facility. The matter continues before court. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A youth of Chawama Township in Lusaka who has begun making peanut butter for sale using basic utensils in his community has urged other youths to be innovative in the midst of economic hardship in the country. In an interview with Camnet TV News, Mr. Brighton Lungu tells Camnet News that he makes about 20 liters of peanut butter per day and earns a profit of over 2,000 kwacha per month from the initiative. He hopes to see his business grow with the coming of the Ministry of Small Medium Enterprises Development.
While the coming of the coronavirus pandemic has had a negative effect on all economies around the world, its impacts have been more pronounced on third world countries like Zambia, whose economies are already struggling to survive. Stakeholders in the labor sector have also been skeptical about the attainment of 2030 goals for achieving decent employment for all due to these happenings. Latest data from the World Bank also indicates that the rate of formal unemployment in the country is too high, standing at about 12.5% of the employment population. This has led to a high number of young people roaming the streets due to the lack of productive activities, while some have attributed the increase in drug abuse and crime in the country to this. In the midst of economic hardships, a youth of Chawama compound in Lusaka, Mr. Brighton Lungu, has challenged other youths to seek self-employment schemes, even at community level. The youth who runs the community peanut butter making business explains that he makes the peanut butter roll from groundnuts until the last stage, using only basic equipment in his small shop.
Okay, peanut butter is mushe manini. Chira mashop, kaye venasho, stima varako vivonze makemiko. Yeve nyamushi. Vantu vamakura kufaka kuiva baby vamapanyira college. Then sivo vuta nopanga tipa process bwanje. Kuziva chemo flying ira akupepeta che nakugaa che kwasi.
Mr. Lungu adds that he makes about 20 liters of peanut butter per day with a profit of over 2,000 kwacha per month.
Ise timagulisa che 40 kwacha. Then mashop benangu amachita 50. Benangu amachita 40 49 okay munga ma youth saya mafunika che noti vintu va fast vintu funika waimbekeza sakira zakapedza nayo pochita noti vintu vamene funa tenge fast.
Youths all around the country have been encouraged to take advantage of the Ministry of Small Medium Enterprises Development and be innovative to ensure that local products are promoted. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Center for Trade Policy and Development, CTPD, has called on the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises to build the capacity of local entrepreneurs in preparation for the African Continental Free Trade Area. CTPD Director Isaac Maipopo says there is need to revamp the local manufacturing industry to compete in the international market. Mr. Maipopo has since urged the government to provide incentives for local private sector players.
Considered view that more work needs to be done to prepare our private sector players to participate in the opportunities that come with this initiative. There is need for the ministry that is in charge of MSMEs to work closely with the private sector and find ways of building their capacity, providing the needed resources for them to revamp production and also revamp our local manufacturing so that in an era where we are opening up borders to trade with all African countries in a bid to enhance intra-Africa trade, there is need to ensure that we also have products that are competitive that can be able to sell in other countries. Added to that is the issue of the incentives that government provides to the local private sector players. If you look at initiatives such as the multi-facility economic zones, it has struggled to actually take off, largely due to inconsistencies when it comes to policy implementation that is targeting revitalizing the participation of private sector players within our economy.
We take our second set of commercials. Coming next is international and sports news.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and uninterrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
From 31st January to 6 February 2022, Zambia's spiritual atmosphere will take a paradigm shift. The Bible says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord."
Zambia, a nation under God conference
will be starting at 20:45 hours
to 22:30 hours.
Live on Camnet TV channel 274 on DSTV, GoTV channel 98 and Topstar channel 106.
Speakers will be
Bishop Stanley Simnyola, Grace Ministries,
Dr. Nervous Mumba, Victory Ministries,
Apostle Michael Mutemwa from South Africa,
Bishop Nelly Chikwanda, New Life Christian Center,
Apostle Rick Kamwanga, Risen Life Church International,
Bishop Joy Makando, Bread of Life,
Bishop Alex Mwami of Holy Ghost Firehouse from South Africa, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua.
Camnet Television,
not just another channel. Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We'll now get into our international item. At least 26 people have died of electrocution in DRC's capital, Kinshasa, after a high-voltage power cable snapped and fell onto a drainage ditch. The incident occurred in a popular food market, and most victims were traders and customers. In another item, the United Nations say more than 4 million people in parts of Ethiopia are facing critical shortage of water as the last 3 rainy seasons failed. Hundreds of thousands of children are already severely malnourished in the lowland region of eastern Ethiopia. Here's a roundup of international news.
At least 26 people died electrocuted in DRC's capital, Kinshasa, after a high-voltage power cable snapped and fell into a drainage ditch. The incident occurred in a popular food market, and most victims were market traders and customers. This witness describes what she saw. When the rain started, the thunderstorm suddenly hit the electricity cable pole. When the cable gave way in its fall, the cable started to hit the people around, and as there was water on the ground, many people started to collapse successively. The national power company, SENEGAL, attributed the incident to a lightning strike that severed the cable. The authorities promised a full investigation. This high-voltage cable, which caused the death of several mothers, so that's why we came to identify the families, so that we could bring help. An official from the state-owned company added that the land ministry had illegally issued permits for market stalls placed under the high-voltage cables. Many traders also blamed the poorly maintained drainage system. The SENEGAL should monitor their equipment. They earn a lot of money by monitoring their equipment. Last month, Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi had announced the rapid relocation of the market due to the dangers posed by its location.
For nearly 2 years, the rainy seasons have failed in the lowland regions of eastern Ethiopia. The UN says more than 4 million people are facing critical water shortages. In recent months, the livestock they depend on to survive have been dying in their tens of thousands. Access for journalists in Ethiopia is restricted. The UN released this video from the Somali region. Hundreds of thousands of people are depending on health and nutrition support from the UN's Agency for Children. The UN says around 200,000 children are malnourished, and the numbers are growing fast. At mobile clinics like this one, people can get some help. Vitamin-rich therapeutic feeding paste can help to bring children back from the brink. Most of the people here depend on herding livestock to survive. They have to walk further every month to find water. The pools where the animals drink are a fraction of their usual size. Getting out what's left of the water isn't easy, but it keeps thirsty camels alive. The UN's mobile clinics are helping some, but it says it needs about $30 million to reach all the people who are in need.
This is part of the strategy that we appreciate to minimize unnecessary deaths among children, and it's a critical integrated package of life saving with sanitation, promotion, treatment of acute malnutrition, and the treatment of common illnesses, and including vaccinations.
As more animals die and crops fail, the number of people in need just goes up. The UN says in 2 months from now, nearly 7 million people will need help. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera.
We now get into sports news. Senegal supporters celebrated into the night in Yaoundé after beating Burkina Faso 3-1, gaining a place in Sunday's AFCON final. For Senegal, it is the second consecutive time the country qualifies for a place in the final. Burkina Faso supporters were disappointed with the results but accepted it and are now looking forward to future challenges. Another Burkina Faso supporter, Rain Goodneni, is hopeful there will be other opportunities. The host nation Cameroon face Egypt this Thursday. The winner of the match will face Senegal in the final on Sunday.
Senegal supporters celebrated into the night in Yaoundé in Cameroon after beating Burkina Faso 3-1, gaining a place in Sunday's AFCON final. Senegal supporters praised the team's performance. I'm very happy. I'm proud of my country too. Very happy. All of Senegal is happy, continuously thanking Sadio Mané because he played very well. For Senegal, it is the second consecutive time the country qualifies for a place in the final. Burkina Faso supporters were disappointed with the result, but accepted it and are now looking forward to future challenges. We played very well, especially the effort we put into that level. I say congratulations to the Stallions. There's 2023 coming up. We hope to go further. We hope to win, but it's a bit difficult. With our keeper injured, it was really difficult. It's really a bit discouraging, but it's not serious. We'll keep fighting. The host nation Cameroon faces Egypt this Thursday. The winner of the match will face Senegal in the final on Sunday.
That sports item brings us to the end of Camnet TV main news, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Counting of votes is underway in the KABWATA constituency parliamentary by-election. Police apprehend 6 Patriotic Front cadres over electoral malpractices. The government to fully support the office of the public protector. In international news, at least 26 people die of electrocution in DRC's capital. And in sports, Senegal supporters celebrate place in the AFCON final. Here's a Camnet verse of the day, and it's coming from the book of Matthew 5, verse 4 to 6, and it reads, "Those who mourn are blessed, for they will be comforted. The gentle are blessed, for they will inherit the earth. Those who hunger and thirst for righteousness are blessed, for they will be filled." Thank you for watching. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Pleasant viewing.